Hull KR set up clash of titans in Challenge Cup final against Wigan. Holders were near enough unbeatable in brushing aside Warrington in the semi-final, with a performance to rival the quality of the Warriors, as everyone expected. It will be the irresistible force against the immovable object at Wembley in 3 weeks' time. Every great era-defining athlete or team needs an adversary. Ali v Fraser, Manchester United v Arsenal in the early Premier League years, Prost v Senna. Perhaps in the years to come, this will be viewed as rugby league's equivalent, a modern clash of the titans. You have to go back to 2022 to find a major final that did not include Hull KR or Wigan. They have contested the past 2 Super League Grand Finals against one another, winning 1 apiece. Both have won a treble in the past 2 seasons, with Wigan sweeping the board in 2024 before Rovers did the same last year. Both have beaten NRL opposition and been crowned world champions in that time period too. And later this month, for the first time in history, these champion teams will do battle for what is arguably rugby league's most prestigious prize. The manner of how both teams booked their place in the Challenge Cup final underlined the superiority they have over the rest of the domestic field. On Saturday, Wigan were at their resplendent best with the ball and defensively faultless in embarrassing local rival St Helens 32-0. Hull KR, by their own coach's admission, saw what they did and decided to emulate it. For 80 minutes on Sunday afternoon in Doncaster yesterday, the reigning holders of the Challenge Cup were sensational, leading with their defensive efforts to strangle Warrington into submission and lay the platform for their attacking players to take control. They won 32-12. Rovers are a juggernaut to behold on afternoons like these. They master every aspect of the game, with and without the ball. And with players of the ability of Mikey Lewis and Tyrone May, Hull KR's all-conquering halfback pairing that caused havoc all afternoon, they look near enough unbeatable. There was no doubting that victory in the World Club Challenge over Brisbane in February, coupled with the early season trip to Las Vegas, took its toll on the Robins. But they are now resembling the team who dismantled all in front of them throughout 2025 to win all 3 trophies on offer, and it would take a brave man to back against them at Wembley. But Wigan themselves have the time-honored trait the rest of Super League are craving in games like these. When the stakes are at their highest, Hull KR and Wigan produce the best they have to offer. If they each do that at Wembley, we could be set for one of the great Challenge Cup finals. There's a lot of respect between both clubs, but at the end of the day, we both want to win, Hull KR's coach, Willie Peters, said. We spoke about Wigan's performance before the game. Defense wins big games, and both big games were won on defense. Of course, the competition would thrive with new teams looking like credible threats. Leeds are perhaps the next closest cab off the rank. But at a time when Super League is trying to sell itself to the world through a new broadcast deal, perhaps this narrative is one that really matters. 2 monsters of the game, playing at Wembley. Super League has had plenty of teams who have dominated for periods of time and left the chasing pack behind. But 2 at the same time? It is a moment that could, and perhaps should, be sold to the masses if the game's administrators have any clout about them. Neutrals could not fail to be captivated by this rivalry. Yes, it would be great to see more clubs emerge from the pack and pose a meaningful threat to the 2 dominant forces Super League has to offer. But on the other hand, what a joy it will be to see 2 historic teams go toe-to-toe in the sport's biggest match once again. That is something that should be celebrated and savored. Circle Saturday 30 May in your diary, because we could be set for a final for the ages between 2 sides in pursuit of yet more history.